thing right now.
Rise and shine. It's a beautiful day. I'm all right.
Wrong song.
I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago, and I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Gary Webb. I am an investigative journalist, and in 1996, I wrote a series of stories entitled Dark Alliance, which was about CIA involvement in drug trafficking.
I knew a man who once said death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back.
We're both in skull and bone with the secret society. It's so secret we can't talk about it. What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go on.
Sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest.
Number 322.
I sad duty to report this afternoon that my friend and colleague, Tim Russert, collapsed and died early this afternoon.
I may die in this cell tonight or in the arena tomorrow. I am a slave. What possible difference can I make?
And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
Hello, welcome back to another Already Dead, your favorite weekly parapolitical call-in show. Today I'm joined by Jules. Hey, what's up? It's a family member of the show. Glad to have him back. Figured he would be a good guy to fill in while Austin's out. Who better than a previous member of the show? So glad to have you, Jules. I see you have taken your extra time to put in extra work, and I think it's paying off. I've seen you say elsewhere that you think that this is probably for the better, and I think I agree. I think kind of allowed us to kind of focus on certain things. We got Jacob run the ones and twos now. I think that's kind of where he feels home. And but I'm glad to have you on now today. How you been? Do you feel dejected? Do you want back? Are you here to?
I'm crawling back, begging. Oh man, I think things happen for a reason, and that the year that I spent with you guys, man, I learned a lot of things about podcasting. I met a lot of really fucking cool people. Got a lot of people, that watch my show because of it, and it's all because of you guys. So I really appreciate what y'all had done for me there,
and we appreciate what you helped out too. So
yeah, man, for sure. Yeah. Well, he was already making edits and stuff, and he was there every show. And I, like you said, man, I have like 5 other shows that. Well, we're not doing Sunday Chaos anymore. That just not my thing really. I did like an attempt at comedy. I drink.
You had your Tower Gang moment.
Make dick jokes, but then quit drinking and I don't know. But so started focusing more on just doing Grey Pilled. I'm hopping on Occult Rejects on some of their shows, and we have a Sound Science this Saturday with Brad or Catalyst from White Rabbit Podcast. So I got that still going. Adrian is, however, on a hiatus. And this all happened the same week that you guys, so I was like, fuck.
Everything happens all at once.
Chaos kind of went to the wayside, and Adrian is having a baby. So he won't be available till February. So that being said, I'm going to be hopefully getting Tyrone from Rebirth of the Word to fill in for him as a co-host for that show. So we'll be doing more with that here in the next week or so. We took a little break from it, guys, but doing stuff on Patreon still, man. I've been having some killer guests on. yeah, dude, just trying to, put out as much as I can while still being a father and husband and working and all that stuff. You know how it is.
Yeah, well, you look better. You seem better. I think it's good. I mean, it sounds like you were. I was there too at one point. You go through that period of podcasting where, I mean, you got so many other things going on in life, and it just kind of podcasting becomes part of like that. I don't know, that normal 9 to 5 rut that people find themselves in, where at 11 o'clock at night they have a couple drinks, and you're like, well, I'll hang out with friends too, and then that becomes podcasting, and then after a while, yeah, it becomes a whole thing.
Yeah, man.
And you do realize, especially drinking, and then I don't know. Sometimes it's still fun, but I don't know. So it does
fun way to kind of make some extra money through. But then once the donations kind of start drying up, it's like, well, what am I doing here? But watching, fight videos and this and that. But I make up for it by the content I put out. I think I have Sound Science this weekend. I'm also having Izzy Griffin on Thursday. Going to be a banger, and then I'm having Brian from Demon Erasers on Sunday. So got a lot of good shit happening. Was supposed to go on Inquiries of Reality tonight, but Shane has kids, and he sent me a message, asked if we could reschedule. I was like, yeah, of course. So this worked out for a reason, man.
Hell yeah. So here you are now. Good to have you back. I do want to express that I am very happy for the time that you were with us too. You definitely helped out, but you kind of was a position to where we need somebody to kind of fill in some of the behind the scenes thing, because it's hard to run a show with 2 people. But it was kind of a smaller operation. I think me and Austin had a goal, an idea in mind of where we wanted to bring it. We just knew we weren't quite there, so we kind of had to bootstrap in the meantime. And so we got somebody, you admittedly, I think yourself, were like, this isn't necessarily in your realm of your wheelhouse, but you'll help out in the meantime. And you did. And, you
learned a lot.
Learned a lot. Yeah, we all did. You learned a little hosting, a little production, a little bit of everything, which are all things you kind of need to know in this realm. But hey, these are, as silly as it sounds, those are actually pretty big. I've been flexing this accomplishment or cred, I guess, for a while, but I do think it's significant. Like, I'm not a big show by any means, shape, or form, but I've broken down, literally shown the metrics in my show where I basically blow the fuck out of Josh Hammer, which, if you know who that guy is, he is the editor of Newsweek. He's also been kind of a big deal on all the J stuff related to Charlie Kirk and stuff, because he was one of his Zionist buddies. Essentially, he's one of these Zionist astroturfed guys. And just some idiot like me who just is like, and who hasn't been on the insane retinue of fucking like huge shows that he's been on, and been like one of these major figures in like a huge scandal. Despite all that, no one gives 2 flying fucks what he has to say, because he's completely astroturfed. But retards like me, you look at metrics, you just like things like, say, like Spotify reviews, so you can see, how many people are listening, this or that. You're like, oh, almost twice as many people are listening to you as they are to this guy. So, I mean, these are skills, and this is how we win. Kind of we keep it lean. We kind of have apprenticeship programs, I guess you could say, but this is how we beat the Jews.
Yeah, man, definitely. Gotta stick together. I don't even know who that guy is. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fuck him.
He does suck. He is pretty pitiful. All right, I am curious where you've been at. Part of why I did want to get you on sometime soon with all of the really a lot of the school shooting stuff that was kind of happening before all this, but then the Charlie Kirk stuff as well. I just feel like I find myself reeling with all of the, I don't know, the sprinkling of 33, the weird, odd coincidences that you're like, what the fuck is going on here? There's definitely a lot of people out there like, Jose, it's all fake. It's clearly all just Masonic theater. It's all fake. And you're like, I have to admit, like, I see the symbolism. I see all the hints you see too. I just am also aware that, like,
you see these are just there, right? You see the George Zim guy is there.
Yeah, I see the winks is what I see, but it's still just a wink. That could have been he is always that could have been just he got a piece of dust in his eye. You don't know. So it's like we could and that's kind of, I think, the point somewhat with these sorts of things, if that is the case. But I just assume you're over there losing your fucking mind. So where are you at with all this?
Well, it's just a matter of like who did it, right? Because we all know he was assassinated. And so that's clear. But, you got some people saying that it was, in fact, this guy who was out there banging twinks or furries or whatever, Tyler. And then you got people saying it was Mossad, or, Charlie was getting, he was starting to talk. He was talking about that Irina chick that got stabbed on that bus. He was like starting to sound a little more pro-white and a little, less pro-Israel. And so, you got a lot of theories out there. Now, the one thing that really has me feeling weird is the wife. And I know people grieve in different ways. But I don't know, man. When you look at her background and how her, I believe, father works for Israelis department and
the
Raytheon, I think,
for the Iron Dome, Raytheon's Iron Dome.
Both her mom and
project,
her dad.
Yeah. Well, the mom worked for like the DOD, or no, she had contracts with the DOD and some other
Homeland Security or something.
Yeah.
She had some contracts with them. But then, this chick, she's already a millionaire. She comes into some like $23 million from something, and then it's like Miss Arizona. Then to me, that's just like a slush fund, right? And then she's in this country music video. Now, this is the weird shit. This is the revelation of the method stuff. Yeah, it's like, if this was a planned hit, how long have they been planning this? And it's like,
dude, real quick, back up.
Yeah.
Did you ever get into? Were you ever a big country person?
Dude, I like outlaw country. I like Hank Williams.
I only asked because that band is Emerson Drive, and I forgot they even existed. Because they were like peak Goy Slop 2000s like country radio music,
them, like in Target and like like if you're in a restaurant somewhere, they'll have like that radio station playing that has like all the songs come on repeat.
But that was what it was, and I had to say I watched some of this video, and it was, I don't know if maybe just this is where we were at in this time in the world, but watching it back, it literally felt like AI produced like Goy Slop music video nonsense. Like it didn't even feel, it felt so stereotypical, over the top, generic. Oh, heard her, we get in the back of the tractor, like that, like so right. Over the top, like formulaic that it felt AI. And like I get it, it is probably like over a decade old song, so that's probably not the case. But I couldn't help but I just felt like it's worth mentioning that like it's that over the top, like almost feels like either AI or, since it was 10 years ago, it was a country music video created in a boardroom.
Yeah, the singer looks like Steven Crowder, dude. It's really weird. But she's zip lining across the city or whatever, and she passes that date 9/10, right, or whatever. And
you say 9/10?
Yeah. And that day he got shot on, or did he get shot on 9/11?
It was 9/10, but then I was just thinking about it. Wait, what time did I think? I might be wrong on this. I think the Oklahoma City bombing was at like 9:02 or something. So I was thinking it was at 9:10 for a second. So I was thinking maybe there was a connection there.
I haven't looked into it.
9:02. I was wrong. I misremembered some fact. But go ahead. Sorry. I was thinking it was a connection with the 9/10, but there wasn't.
To the extent to be like some kind of talking head on it, but that's what I find the most odd out of the whole thing is how quickly she is to just like, dude, if the person I love, my wife, or if I was a woman, I guess my husband.
If your wife had topped off Trump. That's what Montana pointed out. Heard Charlie Kirk's old lady won a Trump beauty pageant in Arizona. Think she had to suck him off or just give him really over the top hugs later down the line. Obviously, the last part's a little bit being silly, but if you're aware of the look of the year competition stuff with Trump and some of the creepiness and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. Like I'm after some of that stuff, I'm convinced the pageantry stuff is basically kind of prostitution with more steps, essentially.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, I wouldn't be able to just bounce back and go on an interview the next day. And I mean, did you see his funeral?
It was weird. I'll be honest. I am always very hesitant to engage in oh, they're behaving this way or they're behaving that way. It's so weird. That's because it is like it's human behavior. Like I'll fucking do weird shit where I'll like giggle and chuckle at like incredibly inappropriate times, mostly just because I'm uncomfortable. There's all sorts of ways people behave inappropriately at times they should otherwise, but I will admit, what the fuck?
I know, man. Yeah, no, it's.
I mean, it's like I don't even want to give specific examples because it feels gross, any one of them. But like, I don't know, particularly, especially like, the one where he's just like rubbing his hands and wasn't that like within 48 hours or something? It wasn't even. So it felt so weird that it was like I was bizarre. They're like, how are we even getting this video yet? And it just was so creepy. I don't know. It just felt.
It just seemed like she was acting, bro. It just seemed like I was in plays when I was a kid. Like I was in theater. I was a fucking theater fag from like from like 4th grade until like 8th or 9th grade. And like, dude, she seems like she's acting.
Mm.
I don't know. It's weird, but you know, if that would have happened to me, you wouldn't see me for weeks. I mean, I'd be a mess, dude.
Yeah, I say that though, but at the same time, I'm also the kind of sick, weird fuck that I also think I could probably like
poke your head
just
out.
Maybe just kind of carry on and like.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I see also people say they go dead.
Do what you have to do. Like if you have to go back to work, if you're not.
Yeah, so
it's
like
your kids.
But it all feels very odd. I mean, you add into it like. I don't know. Some of her pop-ins to media just feel weird. I don't know. It just feels odd. I mean, I can say nothing, but it feels weird. I mean, it is also, you know, everyone wants to say cui bono, but it's like, yeah, cui bono. And it's like, weren't they married for like less than 4 years? They weren't even dating for long. Like, I mean.
Yeah, no one has seen the faces of the kids.
Okay, that's another one I feel gross engaging in. Not giving you any shade or anything, because I almost covered that on my show, but it's like, yeah, of course there's an influencer. You probably wouldn't do that. You know, most people don't, or try to avoid doing that. So, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And then the whole just, you know, I forgive the killer just on a national stage. That was, to me, disgusting.
I actually very much disagree with you there. I actually think that was the proper move. But I think especially, I guess I'm mostly too, like, especially since I knew some of the other stuff going on. I don't know, I've read about previous deep events, and so I was already just like kind of on high alert with everyone rushing to, you know, clamor for the death penalty before we even knew that this was the guy.
Right.
So it's like, and then also on top of that, it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's also kind of, why wouldn't she forgive him? I mean, like what? I mean, I don't really think, what is there to be gained from vengeance or holding on to anything? So I think, while I'm not religious, I don't really know. I mean, even just from a human level, that seems like a good message. I mean, to wallow in, I don't know, vengeance or hatred, that's a consuming position. Like it hurts both of you. Like, so I don't know. I think also for the purposes of the nations of what she represented at that time and what was going on, I really couldn't think of a better thing for her to do. I really think had she chosen some sort of faggoty little rah-rah speech like Stephen Miller and Jack Poso and some of those fucking turds did, I think we could have been looking at a very, very, very different world right now. If that woman had chosen vengeance. Now, I will say that said, all the other shit you said about this, like a little bit, I'm completely with you. Like you're like,
yeah, I mean,
so like if that was theater, if this is theater,
on you know, it was, there was a lot of people watching, and it was just, I don't know. I feel like
if that was theater, my opinion is that was if that was theater, that was the right choice for the directors to make.
Exactly.
If they're trying to control the chaos, I think that was like, okay, cool. You chose to pull back the chaos at that point in time and be like, let's not completely devolve into this chaos. So yeah, I think she was right there. So if anything, I actually think that probably takes away possibly slightly from any sort of implications that she might be untoward or something, or at the very least, whatever powers were controlling, we're like, we can't go that fucking far because things will go out of control. Although it felt like that's what the world wanted. Like I felt like the Trump administration wanted nothing more than for Erica Kirk to come out and fucking and be like, we must root out evil, rah rah rah, some sort of muster the troops type of training or type of thing. I think that could have been. We could have been in a very different thing. People would have embraced that spirit of vengeance that was already seated there. There's already all this stupid fucking shit ready to, attack the left or whatever the hell.
I just
despite
think
the fact these last two attacks, it's like I don't even
or something. Not vengeance or the other. To be honest with you, I'm just speaking, I guess, from my personal. If that would have happened to me, I wouldn't have wanted that. But it is what it is. It's my own opinion, but. I wouldn't want her to take vengeance either, because that would just be falling into the same, the same things that they have set up. Which goes, I forgot what I was going to bring up after that. I
don't know, maybe the Masonic shit. I mean, there's all the Masonic stuff all over it. All the fucking rings she's worn over and over again that are like overtly like the G. That's 100% the Masonic G. Like I have a fucking Masonic park not far from my house. Every day I see it, and I didn't even notice that it had that G until I noticed her ring, and I noticed driving by one day and just saw it, and I was like, oh shit, it is the G. Like they have that perfect little G there. She has the ring that matches it. So there's definitely, I know there's some weirdness with her. I don't know what to make of it. Obviously she's an actress as well.
Could she be Eastern Star? I don't know. But no, definitely. I mean, when you say, that's just what I thought, was that it just seemed like it was acting. Now, like I said earlier, people grieve in different ways. So I'm not going to be one to judge, but yeah, it just seems like, I don't know, man. All that shit was happening. Like I said, with, what's her name? Irina,
the Ukrainian broad,
the Ukrainian chick, and it's like that didn't exist after this Charlie Kirk thing. That's also a little odd as well. It's because that was starting to really get to people, and now I heard her dad is speaking out about it, and he's not forgiving, and he's actually pretty pissed.
Yeah, well, he last I was following that, he wasn't actually able to attend the funeral because of the Ukrainian restrictions due to the people due to the war at the time. So he wasn't able to attend. Once again, I'll have to disagree with you. I actually think, well, not disagree with you. I actually think you were striking on something there. That energy did kind of dissipate. It almost felt like, I mean, not saying it was like perfectly planned, but it almost felt like, if anything, I actually, to my point I was making before, that like that energy, like you mentioned, it was like, no, people aren't talking about that, and it's probably not so great. I feel more people should be talking about that, but it felt like that energy was ready and primed to be converted into this, but with being propelled behind. I think that was going in a dangerous direction. I think the energy has shifted. I do think there's some big right-wingers that are trying to astroturf this like herder, go after the left nonsense, despite the fact it's pretty clear that like, I think most people, real people, are like, dude, I don't know, I don't buy into your fucking story here. So my point being is like, I feel like they were ready for a crusade, and I think the energy got a little bit thrown off, and it wasn't ready like they thought it was. So point being is, if anything, I actually felt like that, like kind of what you're driving at, could have been the thing that kind of naturally propelled the other thing. But maybe it was something as simple as Erica's decision that maybe tampered that energy. But yeah, it is, to some extent, it is a shame, because I guess, there is definitely good energy to be had in the IRNA thing. But I think, kind of how energy can get transformed into negative things, that's kind of what I was driving at. It seemed like that IRNA energy was being transformed into being attached to whatever this Charlie Kirk crusade was trying to be. And although I think maybe we might come to some sort of better understanding with people being like, this is bullshit. And like, I don't know to what degree. I mean, I don't know where this is going to go. I mean, hell, we still don't even really have a confession from this Tyler guy. We don't have anything. So where does this go? I expect him to drop dead at any time now. I have no idea what's going on.
If he's going to make it to court. Gerald was saying, and this is something else I was going to bring up. This was my last point that I was going to make. The Epstein files, the release that got outvoted by Republicans, right? Like it got voted, it got downvoted, like thanks to the Republicans, I'm pretty sure. And so that, no one knew about that when that happened. But
Well, are you talking about
crazy
the
enough, dude, my little brother's mom, who is a leftist or whatever, she was on Facebook, and my wife showed me this post, and she was posting about the same day this happens, they vote no on the Epstein files. And I'm thinking at that time, like, okay, she's just being, and now I'm thinking, I'm like, holy shit, like, what's happening there? What's going on there?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I mean, we have a million things going on at once. We got all the Gaza stuff going on. We got the Epstein stuff, and it's like I can't help but connect the dots and think these things are very, very, very connected. So I think you're referring to like particularly the birthday book stuff that dropped from the Epstein stuff that was right, like literally within I think 48 hours of Kirk dying, and now we've kind of
I think
every now and then they squeeze up some stuff. I think we've had some subpoena material that's come out here and there, but I think. They have actually, I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, I think we're literally, I don't know, unless something's changed within the past like 12 hours, I think we're literally on track to go into a government shutdown within the next couple hours, which is a little bit of a double-edged sword, because one, fuck the government, I don't give two flying fucks about whether they exist or not, but on the second, this is kind of a, kind of Felford again type thing. I don't know if you remember the last time the Epstein stuff was really heating up over in the bureaucratic side of the state. They were trying to push laws and this and that. The last time it heated up, that's when oh no, they dragged their feet to the last absolute moment, and then oh darn, we got to go to recess. And then they had weeks of going to recess or whatever, and then all these people went back to Israel, kissed the wall, all that. They kind of dragged on this time, kind of hemmed and hawed, and kind of sort of ignored things, and then the Charlie Kirk thing came and made it go away again. And now that it's kind of bubbling back up, apparently, essentially recently, I believe Grijalva, I believe is her name, in Arizona, I think, just got elected in, and she would have been the last vote. So essentially they have all the current votes right now, unless something's changed in like the past 24 hours and last I checked. The current thing was that Mike Johnson was essentially refusing to sign in this bitch, thus essentially preventing them from being able to get the last signature they need in order to get this fucking vote or whatever. So, but they're essentially dragging into this government shutdown, and so now we'll have this government shutdown that is the thing that blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So just once again, and it'll be hell to try to gin this up. And the Republicans really, I think, have very little incentive to even really give a shit about trying to pull this government shutdown back for the brink, because they can kind of, essentially during a government shutdown, you're able to kind of shape the state if you're willing to cut some parts of it. So they can essentially, do their loyalty tests in certain areas here and there during this period of time, which kind of fits with their administration plans from previously anyways. And they've already done these with some of the weird loyalty tests they've done in over in the FBI and stuff. So, right. It's just weird stuff. Weird stuff. It's they keep memory holing this Epstein thing, just almost like almost beautifully. You're like, wow, look how you kind of fucking put that all together. Kind of impressive, really. But yeah, anyways, essentially also they have no real incentive to not want to let this drag on. And the Democrats are the ones who love if anything, like the Democrats in this weird position where they're the ones who probably have more incentive to want to open the government up, but essentially they're the ones dragging their feet, essentially causing it. So they're almost certainly going to cave at some point, and it'll be probably long enough to essentially ignore all the Epstein stuff going on. So I don't know where we'll be with the vote at that point in time. I don't know. Which MTG also put out some weird post a while ago where she was talking about how like I'm not suicidal, and there's all these stories going on about how they're really shaking down all these, like particularly the Republican members, about being like, hey, why the fuck are you voting this way? Particularly the ones like Massey, MTG, Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, despite how fucking awful she is. So these people are getting the shakedowns behind the scenes. So weird times.
Dude, the weirdest thing happened the other day. We got a text on our phone that said like security systems in Mississippi have been shut down. Somebody manually cut some kind of like alarm or SOS, like send out center. I don't know what it was, and I didn't look into it at the time, but apparently, and I remember getting the text, and then later that night saying that it had been restored. I don't know, man. It was just weird. It was weird and random. And when you hear about all this stuff about martial law coming in, and you never know what they'll try to pull. What's it called? Project Bluebeam. I mean, dude, what's the other one? Blue Book, Bluebeam. Almost the same thing, but like a fake alien invasion, or who knows, man? Fucking coming of the Antichrist. I don't know. There's really no telling. I mean, they made Tupac into a hologram. So.
Yeah. Jacob, let me get you in here. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today too. Jules actually was kind of a last minute thing, but I did really want to talk to you particularly today with literally the past week. There's been all these Mormon shit popping up, and apparently
Mormon.
Yeah, apparently Jacob's a Mormon or was a Mormon. So do you have any particular thoughts on all this? I mean, I don't know. Are you from are you like a Utah Mormon? Like how deep of a die in the wool type of Mormon are we talking? We just talking about like you just happen to be that one weirdo in town that's a Mormon, or are we talking like you were deep in the hive somewhere? Like what are we talking about? And then also just kind of your thoughts on their intel connections and stuff, because obviously that's what we're driving at. We're seeing a lot of weird Mormons just coming up over and over and over again. It's kind of like, what the fuck?
Right. So for anyone who doesn't know, I do live in Utah, born and raised. So I am a, homebred Mormon. Part of my family actually settled some towns out here, out west, back in the 1800s in southern Idaho. So I've got deep roots out here. So as far as like, homegrown or the, one weirdo in town, no, I'm homegrown. And I mean, first of all, as far as the intelligence stuff goes, I mean, it makes sense. So, the Mormons typically, I mean, they're told constantly, mind you, truthfulness, honesty in all things, living a clean life, and so therefore not doing drugs, not drinking, all of these different things. Like they're almost the perfect candidate for intelligence work. And
except for the whole honesty thing.
Yeah, that's kind of a multi-layered, multifaceted thing. But I mean, your average Mormon, is probably going to be way more honest with you than almost anyone else, especially if you come out here. So, there's that. So it doesn't really surprise me. I know for a fact that the CIA, FBI, whatever federal agency, they literally love recruiting from the LDS Church because of sort of the way in which Mormons tend to live their lives. Also, I mean, there's a huge there's a huge focus on like prepping, like a massive focus on it. So Utah is a, stay strapped or get clapped kind of state, like no matter what.
Hell yeah.
Which is kind of weird that, something so big like the Charlie Kirk assassination would happen here. And just for the record, I don't think he did it. I don't know exactly what happened, although I am open to it. However, with the current evidence that I've seen, I don't think he was anywhere near campus. And here, either this coming weekend or next weekend, I'm actually going down to UVU, go walk the crime scene and everything. So I'll make sure and get some cool exclusive clips for Already Dead. Probably do a live stream while I'm down there too, because it's a public campus. I mean, anyone can go out there. And they have a Chick-fil-A on campus, so might as well go grab a chicken sandwich and, go walk the crime scene, because, I mean, they're already starting to change things down there. So, it's, I don't know. Mormon culture is very strange, though. It's actually kind of hard to like gauge everything because I don't know anything other. Although I was a practicing Satanist for like 10 years. So, there's that perspective.
I always forget that. So whenever you throw it out there, I'm like, oh my God, forget.
Yeah, it was wild. So I actually left the church. So technically I'm not an ex-Mormon. And I wasn't like kicked out of the church or anything. I just stopped going. So technically, the slang term is Jack Mormon. So you are a Mormon, you have church records, but I'm just not active. I don't go. I don't associate myself with the church or anything. So you're a Jack Mormon.
So your reserves in the agency. Got it.
Yes. Right. Yeah. If they, dwindle down all of their normal sources, then they come to us.
Yeah. You're kind of like the draft. It's like
right.
like for example, those don't know, like when you join the military, like you sign and like you have a when you join active, like might get like a 4-year contract, but there'll be like 2 years after where I think it's called like IRR or something.
Right.
And it's like it's not the draft, but you're like before the draft. So you're like this period of time where you agreed essentially in your contract that you're like, well, I won't be active during this time, but like I'm also not like reserves and that I'm coming in like once a week. I'm like not working at all, but like theoretically, if we get to like draft territory, you'll pull from me before that. That's what we're talking about. That's what you are to the CIA.
They probably wouldn't just because of how outspoken I am. But I mean, that actually is kind of how it works. Like all joking aside, they are going to kind of go after some of the people who have left the church because I mean, that falls into perfect cover for some of these people. Now, another thing that I thought was interesting.
They basically almost excommunicate you. I mean, in some places, don't they?
That's
or am
what
I wrong?
Scientology does. They go after you.
They can. It really depends on how big of a stink you raise.
Yeah.
So anyone who follows LDS abuse on X or Twitter or whatever. It's a great page, by the way, but he actually has had some harassment from the church. But I mean, he's like way vocal and very, very persistent in such a particular way that he's raising his criticisms and everything with church members. And that's kind of like a no-go, like, People can talk shit about the church. That's not an issue. I mean, that's been happening the entire existence of Mormonism. So that's no big surprise. It's just really when I think you have the knowledge, like the inside knowledge, and you start really making waves, that's when they're going to have an issue with it. As far as excommunication, I mean, that's kind of like all over the place because there's a man who, if anyone is interested in the Mormon stuff, go and get familiar with the David Hamblin case. This is one of the cases I cover on my channel. I've talked about it on my Substack before. I've interviewed SRA survivors because of it. And mind you, this is like a wide-reaching problem within the Mormon church or LDS church. Is satanic ritual abuse. And there's actually like organizations within the church, okay? So there's these organizations that use the church as cover, basically. So the specific organization I'm talking about is the LDS Church of Satan, which that's not what they go by. That's just what they have become known as, by the researchers and everything, because it explains them perfectly. But they are practicing Satanists that use the cover of the church to carry out their belief system. And it's a horrific belief system, period.
So you being an ex-Satanist, did you notice this later on? Like once you kind of
or was that the pathway?
Did you figure this out early?
Or was that your pathway to Satanism?
No. My pathway was different to Satanism. But because that actually didn't, I mean, I knew about Satanism, but I didn't take it seriously until I was about 19, 20, maybe a little older. Let's see, I'm 32, 33. Yeah, no, I'm 33 now. So I was about 20 years old. And so this inside the church was not something that I was aware of. However, I was entirely aware of the abuse problem within the church. That is a very like well-known thing. But it's one of these things that's not talked about, obviously. The people that do talk about it, once again, you raise a stink about it and they will kick you out of the church, and they'll pull your records. They'll do everything. And pulling your records is almost like, it's like leaving a cult and then never having contact with your family ever again, because the best organization in the world that does genealogy is the LDS Church, period. Like,
really,
they are the best at it. And they have records of not only LDS members, but people who are not LDS as well. However, their focus is LDS members. A lot of people will go to, like, we have a massive genealogy building in downtown Salt Lake and plenty of little genealogy centers all over the place. They are obsessed with it.
I was going to say, someone in the chat said OG Scientologist. I was going to say, this sounds just like Scientology, like just the whole dynamic of it, the way how they come after you can't see your family.
Yeah, they don't really come after you like the Scientologists do. It is similar in a lot of ways.
Right.
Mormonism is definitely OG to Scientology, though, so there is that. It's been around a lot longer. I would say, if anything, L. Ron Hubbard probably took a lot of the belief system and then made his own spin on it.
Okay. So you would say that Mormonism was based off the occult?
There is definitely a cult basis in some of it. Yeah, for sure.
Mean, you got the dude with his plates
by the
and
architecture.
All that, so.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, when was he around? He was supposed to be, around the 1700s or some shit? I mean, you'd know there's the story. So this guy that supposedly came around, saw these plates, all this.
Joseph Smith,
yeah.
It was before the Civil War, 1840s, I think. I could be wrong on the date. It's been quite a while since I've been involved in any of the standard teachings. I probably should refresh myself on all of that.
Point being is it's, the timing, what it is.
Right.
I mean, it was a modern day cult of some sort. It's like, I don't know. Let's be real. It was probably infiltrated pretty early on.
So I actually agree with you 100% on that. So there was a speech that was given. So there's something that the Mormons do is called General Conference. And it's basically like here in Salt Lake, I believe once a year, all of the church leaders, they gather and they give speeches and kind of talk about where the church is at, and they kind of talk about like current events and what's going on, how we should interpret them, all of these different things. And one thing that happened right after Utah was established, so Mormons leave Illinois or Ohio. Well, they kind of just like leave all of the Midwest, right, and head west. Brigham Young comes out here, lands at this point. It's like north of the state capitol building now, but it's called he came out and stopped. He looked at the valley and said, "This is the place." And that's actually what the monument there is now called. This is the place monument. And not too long after that, the Mormons had their general conference, which happens kind of like late springtime every year. It's usually a televised event. Anyone can watch it. If it's, if religion is your thing, it actually is, interesting to watch. But Brigham Young gave a speech about the priesthood. And the priesthood is basically a way for you to have a special connection to God so you can like give blessings. It's not like a connection like a prophet would have or anything, but you're able to like allow God to speak through you. kind of a thing. I guess that's about the best way I can explain it. So what they were going to do is the church was going to reveal like a lot of inside secrets, like what they were going to do inside the temple, like all of these different rituals that they do. And Brigham Young actually stopped it. And mind you, so this is like 1850 something, 1854 through 6 or somewhere right there. And he basically stated that it had come to his attention that there were a group of people who had infiltrated the church, and if they revealed these secrets, then they would be able to use these rites of passages, these rituals, in a negative way. So basically, he was admitting to the infiltration by Satanists, and there are records going back and showing the connection to all of these families that are now involved in the LDS Church of Satan, that this is who he was referring to. And obviously he doesn't call them out by name, but the idea is that if they got a hold of these secret rites, that they would be able to do the same thing in reverse, which is, the inverse of good, like Satanists like to do. And then they would be able to do the same thing instead of going to God, going home to heaven, that they would be able to do it in reverse and, bring evil into the world, which, if you believe in this sort of stuff, kind of seems like there's, some people kind of bringing this energy into existence. And that's kind of the point of all of this esoteric stuff, the religion.
Well, there might be some, I don't mean to cut you off, but there might be something to that. I mean, people do get, the whole plate story with, or whatever the hell. It's like, there's a story of Enochian and stuff and how these people were tripping balls and like scrawling into mirrors and shit and talking to angels. And it's like, in what way is what you're describing? You could be jaded and say it's like some intel person saying, oh, we can't tell you the super secrets or whatever, this or that. Or it could literally be some group that believes they are communing with something and they think they have some sort of, hey, we are doing it the right way. And there's some other group that is legitimately coming along and they're like, hey, we're going to do the opposite. And they're all thinking they're talking to people and weird shit happens. Stuff gets carried away, I think. So well, I don't know. I have no idea, obviously, what the hell happened there. But that is, I hear that, and that's kind of where my mind goes to, kind of learning about like things like DID and kind of this talking to other entities and stuff like that. And you're like, oh,
it's kind of like when these things happen in the public eye. It's like they're telling us that something's happened behind the scenes in a way. You know what I mean? And that's what they are doing. I think there is something ritualistic going on, and it's ushering in this dark energy.
Right. And, the more familiar you are with church history, you can very easily pick out the points throughout time when the church got worse. Like it's very apparent. Like you don't have to like get into the nitty gritty of it. You can literally just have a surface level knowledge of just church history, how things went, and you can pretty much pinpoint exactly where things got worse and worse. So like in the 70s at this general conference meeting, one of the elders actually gave a speech about how the UN was a satanic organization. A couple of decades later, here they are pairing up with the UN. So it's like, it's, I don't know. And now we are one of 3 cities to actually have a UN meeting building. Like, what the hell? It's like, and there's a bunch of other weird connections. I mean, one of the former prophets is directly linked to the Union Pacific, which is in Omaha, Nebraska, what else happened in Omaha, right? The Franklin scandal. So it's like there's all these different connections. And here's the thing is, regardless of what anyone believes, there is evil that exists in the world. And if you are evil, your number one target is going to be any attempt at being good. And so the number one target is always going to be the church, period. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what belief, what's good is good, what's bad is bad. I genuinely believe that objective truth does exist. And the objective truth is that there's truth, there is good and there is evil. And so if the evil exists, then it will attack, infiltrate, and destroy, or at least attempt to, whatever is good in the world. So
absolutely,
I think this is why like any church ends up getting taken over. I mean, it would be a number one target. This is why we see things like, you know, pedophilia rings coming out of the Catholic Church, kind of the same thing with the LDS Church. I mean, that in any church you can almost point, you know, towards some sort of pedophilic ring or organized crime. Like there's all sorts of things. But yeah, it is really interesting. If you just pay attention and know some of the history, you can just point where things turn south. Now, also knowing the history of the church, you got to understand there's going to be two sides of it. There's going to be, well, I guess three sides. So there's going to be, you know, the fluffed up church side of things, or whitewashed, fluffed up, whatever. And then there's going to be the critical side of things. And in my opinion, the truth is probably somewhere closer in the middle. So, you know, there's all these different aspects to this that you've got to look out for, which is why I don't typically focus on it, just because it is so much. Like it is so much. Like I don't have the time to go through 100 and something years of church history, you know. However, there is a really good interview I did with Goel from Investigations in Ritual Abuse on my channel. And he goes through all of this about the satanic infiltration of the church. And I mean, he goes all the way back, brings documents, pictures, genealogy records, everything. So anyone who is interested, I mean, it's long, it's about 3 hours, but it breaks everything down and explains it, and is incredibly informative.
Awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and swing over to the call-in portion of the show. Let's do our intermission. There is one thing in the chat I did want to address, because it's something I did want to make a comment at some point, but it's never came up. I see Hustle Bones saying, when Charlie died, his hands made the Masonic handshake of the entered apprentice, and the symbol of the entered apprentice is a straight hand to the neck. Well, what I will go ahead and tell you is I actually remember having a whole conversation with my wife about that, because she was saying that some people were saying something weird about the way, I think he did like something like this or something, like some sort of weird, which, like, yeah, it was, but what people don't, a lot of people may not realize, you can look this up. This is literally a neurologic, like, response. So when you're dealing with extensive neurological damage, I will say, though, you can derive some information out of that. It probably, I mean, maybe not a ton. I would say it probably would imply that it probably went through his head, although it could have been, I guess, his neck as well. Since
I just want to know why it looks like it comes up like, I don't know, like his shirt, and it looks like it's an exit wound. I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat can tell me.
First of all, in the neck, that was an exit wound.
Okay.
Entrance wounds don't bleed like that, at least initially.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though? That little, it looks like something went off in his shirt. Something like exploded.
Yeah, Stu Peters actually covered this, and there was somebody. There's a couple of videos I can send you, but there's I can't remember what it's called, but they took the footage and they basically ran like an energy disbursement program over it, and it shows where energy comes. And so like when somebody moves, there's energy being dispersed out of us. And so when he sits down and he puts his hands in his lap, the next burst of energy comes from the mic. I mean,
right.
You know, and
it's like he grabs the microphone, and it's like that was a trigger, like that interacted with whatever that device was. And I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that's a theory. Guys in the chat, y'all let me know. And then Gerald Hall says it's not just pagers you need to worry about. That's what I've brought up before with our iPhones.
Yes, sir.
Dude, like I'm really thinking about getting an Android or something, but it's going to be a pain in the ass. Like,
let me know. I can help you set up like Graphene OS or OS and stuff. And so I actually use 2 different phones. So
that shit has me paranoid, man. Just thinking about that.
My wife told me, she's like, okay, no strange mics. I was like, fair enough, because at this point, I think that's the most likely scenario. Now, of course, I could end up changing my mind about that, but I do think that that's the most likely scenario.
Right.
The fact that everything is so confusing is a telltale sign that this is a psyop. Period.
Well, it's like, look up when it's coming from, down below.
Right.
So it's
all
like,
right. Let's go to intermission, and then we can come back and talk about theories about the shooting. Because that's plenty for us to talk about. We could. We're about to bite off another 30 minutes. We can talk about gunshot analysis and all this. Let's go to intermission. We'll be back. We'll take some calls. Maybe we'll pick up our conversation on what we think about the. I'll be honest. I've soured a little bit on the whatever fucking explosive theory. I think I'm starting to think it's a gunshot from somewhere else. But we can come back to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and play that intermission. Roll that beautiful bean footage, please, Jacob.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
see you guys in a few minutes.
Just want to say real quick that the edit fits perfectly tonight. So let's get on.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
Hell yeah! Graphic content warning. We are dealing with a very, very unique situation here, and there are only certain people that can fit this niche. I mean, we got CIA. Really, it is kind of intel agencies. I mean, this whole Troon story is just kind of almost laughable.
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, I don't just kind of thoughts. Like, it's really just even I feel like maybe gatekeeping's the wrong way to put it. I honestly feel like there's a multiple forces going on at the same time. It's really hard to differentiate what it is.
Out the talking points, and so I look at her, who she married to, right? This guy, the British guy that has millions of dollars, and his father is like tied in with the British elites. It's very, very interesting. And then of course she's doing these ad reads, and it's like, your family has money.
Was it better being faced down? Was it better being
What's up, guys? We're back.
Fucking banger.
Call in to join us at 1-833-722-DEAD, D-E-A-D. For anyone who was concerned there might be other ways to spell it. Call in, hang out with us. We'll take a couple calls, maybe about a half hour or so, and then we'll get on the fuck out of here. I guess we can jump right back into some gun analysis. Although I keep seeing, I think it's Bobo in the chat saying something about a AFB shooting. Was there an Air Force base shooting or something? I have not heard about that. If so, I'll probably be covering that in the morning dump. But yeah. What was I getting at? Why I think it's not this. I would have to almost watch it again, and I don't really want to get that deep into analysis. But I think there was something, I forget, if you watch it again now, there's something that shows that, like, it actually moved the wrong way. Like, it doesn't make sense the way it moved with the, like, it should have gone the opposite way. Because you got to think, like, I forget, because it lifts up, but it would have pulled away, is what it does.
Real
or
quick,
wait, no.
I'm going to restart
I'd have
the
to.
calls.
Oh, you're good. You can go ahead and start the calls. I'll mute you because you're doing something weird. But yeah. So yes, I don't know. I think perhaps I don't know. I'm still hesitant to buy into the lapel theory, although I am very open to it. But I don't know. I think perhaps I don't know. Maybe a lower. Maybe it's just a different caliber, lower weapon, and
do you think it came from like the crowd or a rooftop? Like, what's your take?
My thing is, like, I was thinking about it today, and I'm still, like, very off-put by the fact that we still haven't gotten that rear footage. That rear footage that the one guy removed, the one that Candace said she saw, and then, like, oh, he showed it to me, and I said he should totally release this, but then he hasn't. Why did we never see that? I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just like, I'm not ready to write off that, like, there was no entrance, exit, or whatever, because that's the whole thing. If Candace is telling the truth and there really was nothing there and she's not playing stupid and, like, she, like, missed it or something, then yeah, then we have to assume that essentially what we saw was the entrance, and whatever it was probably didn't exit anywhere. And then I would think at that point you're dealing with probably some sort of probably some sort of really low velocity thing, which then would make sense for the little thing, perhaps, like some sort of weird object that, you know, kind of is just kind of bing bing right to here. It's large as well, but like the size of it is why everyone points to, like, it doesn't make sense to be an entrance wound as opposed to an exit, because the exit's much bigger. But if you are dealing with perhaps like a lower velocity, larger, oddly shaped projectile of some sort, perhaps. But I don't know. Even then, I still, like, I'd have to go and look at it again. But something about the way it moved, I was looking at it recently. And I was like, I don't actually. I think there was somebody who pointed out, some, whatever expert that was like, people are looking past that, like, at one key point it moves the exact wrong way. And so if you watch it again with that in mind, you're like, oh shit.
So it's
like,
just
think about
moving from, like, the shot, from, like, the ricochet.
Yeah, you got to think, if you have a thing here that's shooting an explosion, shooting a thing at you, it's creating explosive force. And so that would essentially, it would drive the thing toward the neck, but it would also create an equal and opposite reaction. So essentially, force one way, force the other. It would also, it's the same concept of a gun with, like, a kickback, recoil.
Right.
So you would have, if you had a thing here firing up, people point to that it, like, came up, like it lifted. But if it actually should have done the opposite, it should have boom and kind of, like, moved away type thing, like, because, like, essentially there would have been a charge here firing it up toward the neck or whatever, and so instead it would, essentially, you get it.
Guys, y'all call in and tell us what y'all think happened.
So yeah, I that's one thing. I overlooked that because you are weird how it moves or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, now I don't know. I still want to see that behind footage because I feel like they clear up a lot. I was kind of thinking about it today how we're already at a point where I think we're like at like 2 to 4 things that are held up on Trust Me Bros from Candace.
Right.
Because, like, she's been cranking out these weird, like, oh, my source, here's this photo from Dairy Queen. You're like, what? Who?
Yeah.
This photo from Dairy Queen.
Was the Dairy Queen open?
I think there was, I think George Webb, I think is the name of the guy who did coverage in this, I believe. I played 2 videos either this morning or yesterday.
he had went there and it was shut down and the
Yeah.
cameras were gone.
But I think they found a third one, which I'm not even certain if that's the place, but it's even further, and so it's just bizarre. I don't know. Apparently there was a third one that was open. So the thing is, they don't even know for certain. But that one's like far less likely to.
Said the DQ is shut down now. That's what I had seen. So it's just very strange, man. It's just rings of a.
Well, the thing is, we don't know which. I don't think we know for certain what Dairy Queen it was. So that guy went to multiple Dairy Queens nearby, and the two closest ones, which were the ones that would make the most sense, I think were shut down or whatever. And then there was one that I think was a significant ways away, but it was like plausible. I forget where that one was at, and that one was open. So. I don't know. We still don't know. I mean, there's a lot of like things that are up in the air right now. We got a caller, Jacob?
No, but I was just letting everyone know that calls are figured out. So there should be no echo, no nothing. We are good to go. So.
Hell yeah. Calling people. 1-833-722-DEAD. Reminder for the patrons. We do have a few of you in the back that I see, although a lot of you guys just like to hang out with us in the private chat. That way you guys have your own little VIP chat. But they get the option to video call in, so if they want to, they're able to sit here with us and field calls as well. But yeah, rest of y'all just call in. If you got any questions, we'd love to hang out with you guys. Let us know your crazy theories. But I don't know. I'm torn between the lapel theory and then also, I don't know, I guess, I mean, I still struggle to think that's the only, like, if it's the only exit or whatever. I have a feeling that we're never going to see that behind the back footage is what I have a feeling.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're never going to see that. And
so my personal opinion is that, I mean, so you've got to think kinetic energy only moves one direction. And because he fell to the left, I mean, you're not going to get shot. And like, so if he came straight on, he's not going to fall to the left. So, I mean, energy only travels in one direction. And when energy meets a object that's not moving, it's going to follow the same direction. So, I mean, that's one of the telltale signs that it came from somewhere on his right side. So
there was a guy over there in a collar blue shirt who people were saying looked like he had the thing. You know how it looked like how the driver on that JFK video shot him. That's what I think. I think the CIA gave him a little hand pistol and he killed him. Jackie knew about it because she's in Onassis. You know, she's part of the whole bloodline. But you know, I mean, it's the same kind of they've had this technology for over a century probably. Who knows what they have now, right?
Right. Well, and I mean, there are so many possibilities, but this is one of the reasons why I wanted to go to the college itself and go walk and go see everything, go look at the different angles from where the phones were. Because one thing that people don't really take into account when they're like reviewing footage is footage actually, like when you videotape or I guess, record something on your phone, whatever, it actually distorts it. So that's kind of a problem. It makes it look like it's so far away, but it's not. And so, I mean, that area where they were, think about it, they fit about 3,000 people there, give or take. I've heard 2,000, 3,000. The court just yesterday was saying about 3,000 people. And the problem with a lot of these videos is because of that depth and making it look like it's so far away is that it's kind of screwing with everybody's like sensibility of the understanding of, well, how everything is set up there. Also, part of the issue is that when you are there, you can see the rooftops of almost everywhere because it's built up like on a step system. And so almost everywhere where there were people, they would have been able to see almost like any rooftop. So I am to the point, I just don't believe that Tyler Robinson is our guy. It just seems like a straight patsy, no matter what. I'm
not even sure he's a homo. I for real am not sure of anything.
Same.
Like honestly, like think about all the information we got. It's all for the most part. The majority of all this stuff is filtered through somebody somewhere said something. Source is super weak. Oh, he's super liked. Dude, he's really into furries, troons, this, that. It's all just held up on Trust Me Bros and like sort of leaked through the family of, and then it's like, but even then this Lance Twiggs guy is super fucking sus to begin with. You're like, what the fuck? Apparently he just like, they just like, you know, seems like they just let this guy go despite this all seeming super fishy, and he's just kind of jets out of here like nothing, looking a little fishy. Some of the behavior seems like protecting an informant or something like that. So you're like, what the fuck is this? I have no idea. I trust no one on anything on this one.
Right.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
You know me, I always question everything, but on this, I'm like, you know, well, in anything, you need to question mainly and firstly what they feed to us, right? The information that they give us firsthand, because that's usually where you find most of the lies. Or, you know, you'll find somewhere where it doesn't line up, or a faulty story, or, you know, so, and that's a big shout out to all the schizo investigators that are online.
Milk does a net good, people. Don't forget that. Drink your milk. It will stop 30-06s, your neck. If you do drink your milk. Don't forget that. Yeah, raw milk. Your neck will eat 30-06s for breakfast. I do want to say, I was actually just thinking about it. I threw a little bit, I guess, a little bit of shade at Ryan Dawson this morning because someone brought up the chat, and I was like, I don't really get. But it was like thinking about that. Like I actually I vaguely recalled him lately. There's been a lot of people who've been weird about this, where he's kind of leaned into the conspiratards, and you're like, he's the one who's kind of like, oh, look at all these crazy people jumping on that like a 30-06 couldn't do this and shit. And you're like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
No.
And then it makes you that much more suspicious when you see people floating out like, just being like, oh, that Erica Kirk thing's totally fake. And you're like, okay, well, do you have like any more additional argument to that or anything? You're just saying it's fake and moving on. I don't know. Just see odd behavior.
Yeah.
We have a caller.
No reason.
Oh, hell yeah. Bring him in.
All right. Caller, are you there?
Yeah. What's up, boys?
What it do? You're on Already Dead with Jose and Jules today. What's up, man?
Yeah. Yo, dudes. I don't want to butt in here, but I got some ballistics facts to drop if y'all are ready for it. Okay?
I'm ready.
Okay. Have you all ever heard of frangible ammunition?
Yes, I've heard of frangible. I've heard people throw this around with this. No. I feel like I'm a little bit. I still feel like it'd be a huge mess if it's frangible, but it's a little bit more plausible. But go on.
Okay, so this is like, okay. First of all, I'm usually the one that I'm the palm gun, like it was a hidden guy on the side. I'm that guy. Okay, so I just so you understand, I'm not saying none of that happened. I'm just saying. I keep hearing a lot of shit about like it's a 22 long rifle from the hidden trap door or whatever. Okay. I'm just here to say frangible 30 caliber open tip ammunition exists. It doesn't go that fast, but it's a big round. It can cause a big entry hole and it will stop before it blows out the back of a dude's spine like a 30-06, like a hunting round would. Right. So a lot of people I don't think understand that copper bullets exist. That's typically what a frangible round is it's made of copper. And they're a funky thing. If people look into them, they're almost like, I don't know, it's weird that just a copper bullet can do this, but they call them barrier blind, right? So like you can shoot through a window and the round stays intact. And as soon as it hits soft tissue, it blows up like a balloon and breaks into a bunch of pieces. So like they do weird things, man. So I keep hearing it couldn't be an entry wound or it couldn't be a 30 caliber. It's definitely not a 30-06 from a full length rifle, like a full metal jacket or whatever other round you want. But just saying, all of this stuff, like not to discount any other theory, if there's merit to anything, like the side angle and like the weird flash that we've probably all seen at this point, right? Like there's a lot of different funky shit going on, but there's also like a really simple type of explanation of a dude with a short barrel rifle, like somebody called in and reported was in a hidden spot took a shot with a 300 blackout. That's a again, that's a 308 size round, it's a big round, and it hit him, put a big hole in his neck, ripped through the carotid, and then stopped when it hit. Well, that didn't stop, but did funky shit when it hit his spine. Like, just saying that's possible. Just saying that's possible. All right, consider that yes, it's a second shooter still. I don't see any reason why that's like a boring theory or whatever. It's like, dude, no.
No, yeah, you're right. That was because they received I mean, I guess they never said for sure, I don't think, what the supposed weapon, because they have the ammo, so they should have been able to tell us if it was frangible. You'd think that would be, they could just say this is frangible. I mean, also, I feel like any gun experts, actually we never saw pictures of it, now I think about it, so we couldn't even look at it and be like, oh, that's clearly frangible or whatever. So but yeah, that is, I mean, that still, I think, would make it, I mean, like, why the fuck didn't you say it was frangible? You know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, well, that's like, you're never going to get the autopsy, right? Like, we're never going to know for sure. Like,
we'll never see that back.
Even if they give us shit at this point, who's going to trust that? Exactly.
Yeah. Well, they supposedly
get that dude underground.
These ammo were supposedly inscribed or whatever the fuck, so you would think that we would see those. And if you see the ammo, one of those is the one that was supposedly spent, because there was that was like another thing that was confusing about this, is like there was a spent one and then where it was found, and you're like, then how did the spent one get? Anyways, point being is you would be able to tell just by looking at the ammo, like that, whether it's I mean, I don't know what a frangible 30-06 round looks like, but I know for a fact any sort of someone who knows what one looks like, they would be able to look at that and go, that's frangible. You'd be able to tell. I mean, the copper tip would probably stand out, I'd assume. Well, so, yeah. But, sorry, go ahead.
But what I'll say about that is that it's definitely not 30-06. It's still, like, there's no way that he fired unless it was I mean, you get into, like, weird hand loading, dudes that load their own rounds. Yeah, sure, that's technically possible. But, like, did this kid do that? I don't know.
Wait. When you say it's not 30-06, do you mean that ammo isn't a 30-06 round, but it can be loaded into like a 30-06? What do you mean by that? Like the frangible?
I mean that there's no way that like a commercial load 30-06 standard load 30-06 did not blow right through the back of that dude's neck.
Absolutely, and even with the frangible. Like, I get what you're saying, but even then, like, while I don't know, I would still assume even then, like, yeah, maybe it could eat the bullet, but I just feel like we would have saw a much nastier fucking scene. Like, if we're dealing with absorbing even a copper frangible, I just think we're seeing you may not technically get an exit wound, but it's going to look like there was probably an exit wound, I would think. You know what I mean? But maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. I could, but even still, it's just, you would also just be like, why the fuck did no one say this is frangible?
So that's another one of these things. It's like, okay, if you understand, it would have to hit the spine, dead center, and it would have to basically deflect back, down, upward into stay in his neck, right? And they said they found fragments. This is according to, I think it was Jack Posobiec was the guy who said supposedly that they found fragments by his heart. So you're talking about...
Yeah, because he was floating the bulletproof vest, I think, initially. But go on, yeah.
I want to know how they found the fragments. I'm not sure
exactly,
I want to know how they found the fragments if they didn't do an autopsy.
Well, that's actually they did an autopsy. Yeah. It's like there's two different things to that. Yeah. There was what is it called? The people, the dispatch that was caught on camera saying some things to the contrary, but then there was, I forget there was one. I forget where it said where there was. I forget it. I have it bookmarked somewhere, but yeah.
Yeah. And the other part of it was that the surgeon who declared him dead didn't do the autopsy, but some of the info is coming from that guy.
Yes.
So it's like as soon as Charlie got to the hospital, this surgeon checked him and said all this stuff about, wow, it's a miracle. That bullet was just magic bullet 2.0, I guess. But don't look into it, guys.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Hey.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's no way, unless it was like a very specific custom made thing, and there's no way that it hits the carotid artery from the perfect angle to hit the carotid like that, and hit dead center on the spine, and fragment and stay inside. All of this stuff, it's like either the craziest coincidence after coincidence after coincidence, or it's a fucking pro, right?
Yeah, and frangible is just weird. Frangible is just weird range ammo too, right? So that's another thing. Like, who the fuck would even use frangible ammo? Like, that's a weird, odd. Maybe if you're using steel targets and you don't want to like.
Yeah.
Are you implying that they're going to bring Charlie back as like a droid?
What?
Or like, I don't know. Do you think they're going to bring him back and be like, he was resurrected in the name of Christ? Like, I don't know. I think that
well, at this point, I would not doubt it, to be honest.
Theory,
but yeah, no, but what are your thoughts on frangible? Like, I mean, do you is that what frangible would just be more like a weird range ammo, right?
Well, so no, so you're not wrong. That's like what a lot of people use it for, is shooting steel.
Yeah.
But like, it's also, like I said, it's used for defense. It's my personal go-to 5.56. It's actually what I use as a 2.23 round from Gorilla. They're full copper rounds with a big fat tip, big fat hollow point. So like I said, they're barrier blind. You can shoot through material, but as soon as it hits organic, like man meat, it expands, it fragments. It basically, it's just made to be the most violent possible round when it hits a person. But then ignore what, if they're behind drywall, it won't fragment in the drywall type shit.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's a thing. I mean,
so it's more of a self-defense round.
I've watched a lot of it's that, but it's also like Jose said, like people will use it at the range because it's not going to deflect. Right. So yeah, but it is commercially available. It's just not as popular as,
yeah, I
your
mean,
Full Metal Jacket, and it costs a shit ton more.
If Tyler supposedly or allegedly is the actual assassin, there's no way he used it.
Yeah,
no. Like I said, there's like a 0.01% chance maybe that, I don't know, maybe his grandpa hand loaded him a custom engraved furry round or some shit. But like, come on, no, like it's
right. Well, and part of this, like we're not going to get a lot of these documents until the court case actually, starts going on. So
right. Well, right. And
if an autopsy did happen, we'll get
the real shit part. Yeah. Well, and I was just going to say, exactly. We'll get the autopsy, but listen, Erica Kirk crying or not crying, fake or real, whatever. But what sus is high profile assassination like this. And you didn't even order an independent autopsy. Epstein got one. Charlie Kirk doesn't.
Right.
So we're taking the coroner report from the fucking feds. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that where we're at? It's a coroner report with the feds. Let me see if I can't find the bookmark I have. Is that where we're left with? Is a coroner report here?
As far as I know, I heard somebody talking about the Utah law, and apparently there's some weird, like, they have to do certain things certain ways in certain cases. So I'm not sure about that. Maybe Jacob knows more about that. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's,
autopsies are actually private,
regardless.
Under Utah law, they can be released under certain circumstances, which I believe at this point it's most likely going to be released during the trial. But then again, well, I was going to say maybe not, but this actually is not going to be a federal trial. It will be a state trial. So therefore, I don't think they'll be able to hide any of the evidence.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Yeah, maybe not hide it. Maybe just falsify it.
Yeah, I mean, there is always that, but we'll have to work with what we get for sure. I actually do know the lawyer who got appointed to Tyler. I'm gonna reach out and see if I can get an interview, whether it's just audio or something, or if I have to go like write an article and just quote her or something. But yeah, I've actually spoken to this woman in another matter before, and she actually worked for the feds for a long time. But she is a wonderful lawyer, which is almost kind of an oxymoron, but she's all about like civil rights and everything. She's definitely on the side of freedom. So
Okay.
I'm actually pretty hopeful that we'll at least get some information if she's going to be the lead attorney.
She a small hat?
No.
No.
Well,
Poor Tyler.
That's a good question.
All right, buddy.
You didn't get any sort of G-Man vibes? Because if so, man, they have... they're going to get hooked the fuck up. Like, I don't really know, unless you have someone completely ready to be the person for the complete fix being in, but I just do not, I don't know. I mean, I struggle to believe that whatever shadowy organizations tried to do this one, they really thought this through correctly. I think I think somebody fucking screwed the pooch somewhere if we're going to go into this as planned, because I don't know. This seems like I think this guy is going to get off. I don't know. Maybe they try to get him on a plea deal, but I don't know. You'd have to be pretty fucking retarded, I would think, to even take any plea deal at all. Take this bitch to court, and I don't know. Yeah. But all right, caller. I think we'll probably let you go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bud. Go ahead and finish what you want to say.
Oh no, I just was going to say that's another one of these things that a whole like series of assumptions you got to make to even say like, oh, here's the guy from the footage. He's the guy. He's also the same guy from this other footage and from the pictures we see from earlier or later or whenever they were. And he never has a gun, but it's his gun. Come on, everybody. It's like there's no actual evidence linking any of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless they have it and they're hiding it. So, yeah. But what can you do? Anyway, good talking to you, boys.
Well, appreciate you joining us. Call in again sometime. We'll take on to the next call. I think we might have some patrons who want to join us. I was trying to find the autopsy thing, because I swear I saw something about the autopsy. Maybe I'll have to cover this tomorrow on the show. I actually have something saved in my YouTube says what's going on about that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll dig into that tomorrow on the morning show. But yeah, don't we have? I think we have some patrons that want to join us. I don't know if you want to bring them up, Jacob, and then maybe we can take like maybe one or two more calls and get the fuck out of here. Maybe just one last. Who do we want to bring up? Let's take up one of the patrons, and then we'll get out of here.
Shy wanted to come up, so let's get you up here.
What's up, Shy? What it do? What are your thoughts on the current state of the world?
So I wanted to ask you guys, did you see there was an ABC News clip where they're showing where he's in front of the judge, and the judge is telling him what what charges he's facing, and that they're going for the death penalty, and then they say what the prosecutor says his motive is, and that it's politically motivated. And there's actually two clips going around. One where during when they say, oh, it's because of political motivation, he like nods like this, like in agreement, and it looks crazy. But in the other ones, he doesn't. He winds up nodding like a few seconds later. Have you guys seen that?
No, can't say I've seen that one. No.
Can I share the clip? It's a short from YouTube.
Sure. Do you know how to share it on here? You just got to go down to the bottom and the little screen
plus
sign.
All right.
Share screen.
I got it. Give me just a sec. I'll pull that up.
Cool.
All right.
It's from a longer video.
Actually, I don't think I can pull it up without echoing. So, Jose, if you want to pull that up.
Oh, is that the YouTube? Okay, there we go. YouTube.
No, the one right above what I just put in the private chat.
The Shy one, the one from Shy.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I got that one. Give me a second. Cool. Oh, is it the Tyler Robinson court footage? That's what you're talking about here? Oh, okay.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, let's go and bring that up. That makes more sense. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? All right, here we go. Let's go and play this.
Because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. That concludes reading the information.
Please tell me you notice the difference. In the local one, in the Salt Lake City one, all the charges are read, he doesn't react, And then when the judge says that concludes the charges or whatever, when he's done, when he's concluded, that's when we see the acknowledgement like this. But then on ABC News, one of the biggest news platforms of the country, I'm seeing this report that's been seen by tons of people out there. And when he's being told the motive for having done this, which is political expression, we're seeing an acknowledgement. So I'm going to play them side by side. On the right, that's ABC News, and you'll even hear that the audio is synced. And on the left is the one from the news station from Salt Lake City. And look at when that nod hits. On ABC, it's an acknowledgement to the charge. On the Salt Lake City one, it's an acknowledgement to we've concluded.
Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. That concludes reading the information.
To clarify, in the beginning, they were both synced. But at some point, ABC started moving some stuff around. Tyler went from here to the side, back to down here from a different angle. Then there was two different versions of the judge, and things got messed up. And then at this moment, I realized that the clips were out of sync. Seriously, what are we doing here? The year is 2025. Why does this footage look like it was filmed on a potato from the 17th century? Everything is choppy, everything is laggy, but it does seem like the one on KUTV makes a little more sense with the way that the judge is moving when he's speaking and the way like he puts the papers down. But I have no way of knowing that for sure. I don't know where that lag came from. And even if the judge seems synced, how do I know for sure that the feed that we're getting from Tyler is at the right time? Who's to say which of the two got it right? When you have two news outlets playing the same audio, the same footage, but the guy who's on trial in one of the most high-profile cases right now in all of America, and we can't see what the guy's reaction is. Why are we even filming this?
Because of Tyler James Robinson's belief.
All right, yeah, that is weird. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on all that?
Very strange. Well, you know how they manipulate stuff all the time. I mean, they go all the way to change the color frame to make someone look sick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and it looked like those two videos were like different quality. You see the one from the local news looked, duller and not so well, and looked like the national one they edited and spruced it up. You can even see like the lines in the walls, like in one, and the other one you can't. So it's interesting on that.
Yeah, no, it is really just like it does look like grainy, shitty video, and it's just little nods here and there. So it is like the easiest thing in the world to fake. Hell, with Mangione, we got at least a couple outbursts. He's a real guy. We've just gotten a couple Zoom meetings from this guy so far. So yeah, I'm not even certain Tyler Robinson exists. Like
he didn't even move.
Yeah,
barely.
Barely.
That was like a glitch in the camera. It could have been, like that looks like a nod. They could have done that.
Legit, like they have him on.
That's how he would acknowledge. He would when
yeah,
they would
it's like they just have him on a loop, just occasionally doing this, and they just kind of time it at the right time, and that's it. Yeah.
Well, mind you, I still think he's on suicide watch.
Yep.
So if that's the case, they wake him up every 15 minutes. So he is going to be sleep deprived, and his brain is going to go straight to mush.
Yep.
And they said that the official story, they said that when they the reason they turned him in, he turned himself in, is because he didn't want to get shot by the cops.
Yep. Exactly.
So why would he be on suicide watch?
Mm-hmm. No, you're 100% correct. He tried to turn himself in ASAP because he was worried some shit's going to happen to him. So that's what they're saying. Allegedly. That's what they floated out initially. But even though he turned himself in immediately, so he actually, one of the things they fucked up is they may not have thought through how he would react, and the idea that like maybe he was able to get himself into some sort of, you're like, now it's not as easy as just oh no, we shot him running away or this or that. So I don't know what the plan was. Things seem to not go according to plan. But we're at almost we're over an hour and a half now. I think I'm ready to hit the bed. I'm ready to hang out with hang out with some of the patrons in the post show. So I think we're going to go ahead and bring this one to end. Thank you, Shy. We'll see you here in a second in the post show. That was an interesting video. I haven't really honed in on that one. That is weird. All these videos, and I mean, really the whole nature of everything that we're getting is screened through so many levels of technocracy and not really being able to see sort of any authentic signs of life. So we're entering into this creepy panopticon. But with that, we're gonna go get out of here. Jules, you are our guest today, our former slave of the show. Now you have moved on and you are a free man.
Greener pastures.
Jules, let them know where they can find you at, and I'm sure we'll have you on again at some point.
Oh yeah, man. This was fun, guys. You can find me on X at greypilledpod. I'm over on Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. Patreon.com/greypilledpodcast. If you want to support the show, if you want a whole catalog of content that's not really released to the public, we do watch parties, esoteric book reviews. I got some guest episodes lined up, happening later in the fall. So some good stuff over there. If you're on Rumble, you can sign up the locals. I post all the links to the streams there as well. Like I said, Thursday I'm having Izzy Griffin on. That's at 8 o'clock or 8:30 Central. I'll let y'all know. Saturday, White Rabbit Podcast, Sound Science with the Paranoid American. And then Sunday, I'm having Brian from Demon Erasers on the show. And in between that, we'll be doing an esoteric book review Saturday morning. Don't know about Twin Peaks this weekend. We're at the last few episodes, so we may skip every other weekend. And may do an Occult Rejects episode this weekend, so y'all just stay posted. And yeah, Jose, thanks for having me on, man. This was fun. And go check out Babylon Podcast. My wife dropped her first and second episodes. They're like 30 to 45 minutes long. And you can find it on YouTube and Rumble. Y'all go over there, follow her. Some pretty good shit. And free Jolly on Klebold.
Oh yeah, brother. I don't even care if he killed the dude. Let him go. Jacob, you want to let them know where they can find you at?
Yes,
give
sir.
your plugs, buddy.
Yeah, so the best place to find me is anywhere at Rise to Liberty. The most active places I am is Instagram, Telegram, and X or Twitter, whatever you guys want to call it. Also, I'm about a day, maybe 2 days away from relaunching my website and all of that stuff. There's going to be all sorts of membership levels and all sorts of really fun stuff. Also, I'm working on a series about Satanism because I don't feel like anyone's really covered it that has, a wealth of knowledge that's on my side of the argument. So there's definitely going to be
one of those.
Yeah, dude, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's going to be that. Some of it's going to be behind a paywall, obviously, because of the content. But I will release what I can for free. Other than that, you can catch me here every Tuesday.
Hell yeah, brother. Appreciate both of you guys for joining us.
I was going to say one more thing, guys. Just did a banger deep dive on the Green Man. If you're interested in that, with Greyhorn Pagans and Headless Giant and Nick from Occult Rejects. So y'all go check that out and get that out there. It's a banger episode.
Hell yeah. All right, for those who want to support what I'm doing over here, leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. You can follow me on Twitter at TowerGangJose. You can find the show on YouTube, on Rumble, all the audio podcatchers as well, pretty much anywhere you get podcasts at. If you want to support the show in the best way you really can with money, you can do that over at patreon.com/NoWayJose2020. The lowest level is $2, and that gives you access to early episodes. I usually do about 1 to 2 of those a week. Usually keep about 4 behind the paywall at any given time. I have Nick Bryant coming on tomorrow. Then I'm doing an episode about the days of the years of lead the following day after that. So that's stuff you get early. The poors will get that weeks later. You also get access to the ad-free RSS feed. You get access to Telegram, and you get access to the pre-show, the post-show, and the video calls for me and Austin's weekly live call-in show that you're watching right now, Already Dead, which is on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And I also give a big shout-out to my sponsors as a big thank you for everything they do and helping out this show. I have my previous co-hosts on Tower Gang, at Learn to Toad, also at Abrogate D's, at ZOVRECK, at _InvitZeal, Tim Tuttle, at Jolly and Klebold, Will Bell's Delicious Blueberry Rabbit Eye Wine, big fan of the show, Torrin May, at Wayne Taculus, Yellow Polka Dot Dress, and Mark Vestibule. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Love you all. See you tomorrow on the morning dump at 11 a.m. Eastern. Bye-bye.
Great, Bill, guys.
Bye.